It is true that Kenyans are struggling. It is true that economic times are difficult. Even though this government has done something positive in the area of agriculture by encouraging production. Today, we are producing 61 million bags of maize. That is what we produced in 2023, up from 30 million bags a year before. That is double. And we are projecting maize production to be at 74 million bags. That is what would satisfy the population of this country. But even with all that, Kenyans are still feeling they don't have money in their pockets. One of the reasons, there are three reasons that I will talk about, and what we are intending to deal with those three problems. Problem number one is the simple reason that because banks have not been able to give money to the private sector cheaply, private sector has not been borrowing money from the banks to expand their businesses, to create job opportunities. So many of our youth, that is why we have now today 3.4 million Kenyans who are supposed to be working are not working. This is because businesses are not expanding. The government has been borrowing money expensively, and therefore banks also loan money to private sector even more expensively. You have started seeing banks lowering interest rates because of the deliberate efforts taken by government to reduce government borrowing and reduce interest rates so that private sector can borrow money, create job opportunities for many of you. You see, you may be earning the same salary, 100,000. But if your sister is unemployed, your brother is unemployed, they will all depend on your 100 shillings. You will not see money in your pocket. The money may not have disappeared from your pocket. It's still there. It is still the same 100. But the mouth it is feeding is a lot. Therefore, we must make sure that we create space for employment for more people so that we have more income. Number two is the issue of salaries. We brought SHA, we brought housing levy. Is that not correct? It shrunk your pay slips. But there are efforts that we are making to make sure that you don't earn too low before the introduction of SHA and before the introduction of housing levy. Today, when I appeared before national television, I said with the amendments that we did in December, which some people were opposing, it has provided some relief, maybe not 100%, but we have moved towards reducing the burden, the tax burden on your payslip. So when you are told that there is no effort, it is not true. How I wish some of you could just take a calculator and calculate if you are earning 100,000 shillings. Before the amendments that we brought to Parliament, that 100,000 shillings, 4.25% was going to SHA and housing levy, which is 4,250. Now, with the amendments, that amount, the whole of it is not going to government. Because even if you earned that money, 30% was going to be taxed anyway. Today we are saying, if you contribute to SHA and you contribute to housing, the 4,250, it gives you tax relief of 30%. So what you are actually effectively paying is 70% of 4,250, which is 2,975. Now before SHA, there was NHIF, and you were paying 1,700 if you are earning 100,000. So if you remove that from 2,975, you remove 1,700, you remain with 1,275. So someone who is earning 100,000, the only amount you are losing now, which you are not losing before this administration came to power, is 1,275. I am not saying that that is not money. It is. But it is not as big as some people are trying to portray. Because of the amendments we brought, we also brought amendments that if now you retire or you are laid off and you are given your gratuity, it should not be taxed. Now you take your money and go home. Pension is now not taxable. Even if you retire, so long as you retire procedurally, money that you contribute to the health insurance scheme, post-retirement scheme, is also now giving you relief. So there are so many things we are trying to do, and we will do more. Finally, the other reason why Kenyans are complaining is because you supply goods to government and they are not paid. What is called the pending bills. We subjected the pending bills, and this is not the first time we have subjected pending bills in this country to a committee. We have always created committees. For me and the government, we have decided that this time we are going to act on the pending bills that will be certified by that pending bills committee. The total amount that went to the pending bills committee was 663 billion shillings. They have already analyzed 474 billion shillings worth of bills. Out of that, they have approved for payment 206 million worth of pending bills. I have since, together with my team, analyzed that data. And listen to this. 95% of those invoices, if you count invoices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 95% of those invoices are people who have supplied goods and services to government of not more than 10 million shillings. From 1 shilling to 10 million. These are small businesses. These are MSMEs. Therefore, we have taken a decision as a government. The president has instructed me that we are going to make sure that we try through the supplementary budget to create space for anybody who supplied anything to government and has not been paid up to 10 million. We pay all of them. These are small people. These are small businesses. So we want to pay all the people who have supplied up to 10 million. Then now the remaining amount, we will have to plan and prepare in the next budget how to pay off the pending bills. So those are the efforts. I wanted just to assure you and assure fellow Kenyans, as I listen to you when you are making your deliberations, that we have not reached where we want to be, but we are making deliberate efforts. Tunajaribu sana. Tumeweka mikakati, ninajaribu. And I'm being transparent and open. Long gone are days when cabinet secretary would only be for finance, would only be seen with a briefcase going to parliament to read budget speech. We must engage more. Please give me and open the door for me to engage with you. I may not be perfect, but I will be listening. Give me ideas that you think can help this economy move forward. It is a collective responsibility. I cannot do it alone. I earn, yes, 1 million, but I work for people who, some of them earn nothing. And I want to listen to those people who earn nothing. Let me tell you, this country has challenges. Recently I was in Tana River. And in Tana River, I saw something I never believed, even though I also come from a marginalized area. Remember, since independence to date, the children of Oromo or Orma, Pokomo, crossing the river to school, have been eaten by crocodiles for all these years just because Kenya government could not commit 100 million shillings to put up a bridge. Yet we steal monies every day in government offices, worth billions of shillings. It is unfair, it is unjust. We must look for ways of making sure that the whole of this country, whatever little resources we have, it is spread equally in the country to attend to our needs. All of us pay taxes, whether you are a Pokomo, whether you are a Bukusu, or whether you are a Kikuyu or a Luo. All of us pay taxes. We deserve to get services. And that is why I'm here. And this assembly has people from all ethnic communities. Let us speak openly. Let us respect each other. I respect any opinion, however you put it. Just tell me what you think. Even if you think Mbadi ninafanya kazi bure sana, National Treasury, tell me so that I may consider whether to resign or to continue with my work. Otherwise, let me take this opportunity and invite Governor Muridi to come and give us. He is going